It is a beautiful day in South Williamsport, Pennsylvania, and it is time for the cap swap. Texas and Japan, two teams that have combined to win 12 Little League World Series championships, will play in a consolation game here next.
That ball is crushed and gone. Canada, in some ways, has been the darling of the tournament. This one he crushes. Gone and over everything. That one is ripped to left field, and it is gone. There's that big home run from Kenny Ricks.
My goodness, what a moment for this Iowa team.
Welcome to ESPN's continuing coverage of the Little League World Series, presented by Kellogg's Frosted Flakes. Today from South Williamsport, it is Japan from the international side against the kids from San Antonio, Texas. It's a consolation game here from Lamade Stadium. Let's start with a look at our fresh take from the Little League World Series, brought to you by Subway. The big story yesterday, Kentucky had a huge seventh inning. They scored 11 times to get over the kids from Iowa, 14-4 in an extra innings affair. So Kentucky now has beaten both opponents by 10 runs here at South Williamsport. The story on the international side, no question, the kids from South Korea. They remain perfect after their 10-0 win yesterday over Canada. They've recorded 33 outs in 2 games at this Little League World Series, 30 of them via the strikeout. And a big slate of games today. This is the first of 5. Then we have 4 elimination games. Canada and Mexico will be our first on the international side. And then later tonight, Tennessee and California play to stay alive here at the Little League World Series. So good to see you again. Jay Crawford alongside Tim Kirkshin. And boy, are we excited about today, because Tim and I are 2 kids in a candy store when we're here anyhow. But today is fun day. It's Kids Day. We're going to be joined, Tim, by 6 Little Leaguers in the booth throughout the game. Kids from Kentucky, New York, and Oregon. They're going to help us call the game, and we're going to see the game through their eyes.
Right, and the only requirement with these kids is they have to be taller than me, which means we're going to have a booth full of kids during today's game.
We can't wait. We're very excited to do this. We got the chance to meet some of the kids yesterday. We think they're excited about it too, and you'll enjoy it, I'm sure, at home. Now, the stories in this one, Japan is a team, Tim, that you know is used to coming here and dominating. They won this event last year. They've won it 4 of the last 6 years, but it's a much different story for them this time around.
Right. This is only the second time in their history that they started out 0-2. The last time was 1962. But they have some highlights to bring home. They have So Hirao, who hit a home run in the Little League World Series, which was a really big deal. And we love the celebration that these kids had after the Hirao homer. And he's not even starting today. He's coming off the bench, so they have some thunder. But I love how they celebrated this. It was like a team bat flip together, and they really enjoyed that.
Yeah, here they are. Let's walk it off, boys. Certainly having a good time here. You'll enjoy the expression on the Japanese kids' faces. They're here, they're having a blast, and it's one more game, this time for memories. As for the Texas team, again, Tim, this is a team, this is a historical power here at the Little League World Series. Only California has won more games on the U.S. side. They'll play one more time here today in a Consi game.
Right, and this again with Texas, only the second time in the history of the state that they started out 0-2 here. The other time was 2013, but they have highlights to bring home. This is Dominic Tellis. He hit a home run against Kentucky, and for the rest of his life, he's going to be able to tell his buddies, you know, I went deep at the Little League World Series. I can promise you, if I ever did that, that's how I would introduce myself to people for the rest of my life.
Well, one more time, they'll try to make memories that will last a lifetime. Collectively, they've played in 22 title games, but today it's Japan and Texas in a consolation game. The first pitch flies from South Williamsport next.
Little League World Series is presented by Kellogg's Frosted Flakes cereal. They are great, and in part by the Odyssey from Honda, official vehicle of Little League. And Verizon. Join a better network because better matters.
As we work towards first pitch between Japan and Texas, a shot at some of the folks on the hill here at South Williamsport. It's a beautiful day for baseball, a sun splash day, as the kids from Tokyo get set to play their final game here in the 2016 Little League World Series. Tokyo representing the Asian Pacific region, the Japan region rather. And you know, Tim, when you think about the history of Japan here at the Little League World Series, so much of that history has come from the Tokyo Little League. They've had so much success. In fact, the Tokyo Little League has played in 9 Little League World Series title games. They are 8-1. Of course, they have a huge city to draw from, over 13 million people. And of course, you'll see the 2020 Summer Olympics in Tokyo, Japan. Let's meet the boys from Tokyo. Today's starting lineup brought to you by Kellogg's Frosted Flakes.
私の名前は城足立です。好きな選手は井端弘和です。
私の名前は遠藤亮太です。好きな選手はマイク・トラウト選手です。
僕の名前は平尾壮です。好きな選手は川端選手です。
僕の名前は井川壮介です。好きな選手は岩隈久志選手です。
私の名前は池本凛です。私の好きな選手は田中将大です。
僕の名前は井上涼です。好きな選手は大谷翔平選手です。
私の名前は伊藤匠です。好きな選手は松井秀喜です。
私の名前は城澤明です。好きな選手は川崎宗則です。
僕の名前は松浦元気です。好きな選手は山田哲人選手です。
私の名前は森栄一郎です。好きな選手はイチローです。
私の名前は小川平。好きな選手の名前は菊池涼介です。
私の名前は佐藤翔太。好きな選手の名前は川崎宗則です。
僕の名前は鈴木達也です。好きなプロ野球選手は大谷翔平選手です。
私の名前は高橋也です。好きな選手は森友哉です。
And you'll be happy to know Tim and I stayed up all night last night quizzing each other on the pronunciation of the names. We'll do our best.
I have no shot today. That's your job, Jay, not mine.
Well, the man that will be pitching to them, or the boy rather that will be pitching to them, Britton Moore, taking the hill for the team from Texas, as we are set for the first pitch from the consolation game of the Little League World Series, Texas and Japan. And digging in, leading off for Japan, Akira Jizawa. And we are underway. Britton Moore a little wide with the first pitch.
Jay, it really doesn't matter that both these teams are 0-2. The idea when you come to the Little League World Series is to play as many games as possible, take back every experience that you can, and that's what these kids get to do again today.
Yeah, it's a chance. There's really no pressure in this game. They're both going out there, Tim, with the idea of having fun, making some memories to take home for a lifetime, something I'm sure these boys will never forget. 1-1. Ball. Just misses outside. Britton Moore, the pitcher here for Texas to start. His older brother Mason played here, Tim, in 2012. So he has a little idea of what this is all about.
And I'm sure he was here when watching his brother play, so he understands.
Throws that one by him to even the count now at 2-2. Yeah, and it's good. Older brother can give him some tips, give him some pointers. It's one thing to sit in the stands and watch, but it's another thing to have someone like a brother that can sort of give you some sort of an idea as to what to expect. Swung on and missed. The throw down to first. Gets the runner, and Akira Jizawa starts the game with the strikeout.
And that was on an off-speed pitch, Jay. And I've been really struck on this World Series how many curveballs, how many off-speed pitches we've seen from these pitchers. And again, if they know how to do this and they can take care of their arm while doing it, it seems to be a very effective pitch.
It's following the big league trend. I mean, they're seeing pitchers in the big leagues throw curveballs anywhere in the count, and that's what we've seen here. And that one's behind Yojiri Moraya. The 0-1 is in there, swung on and missed to even the count. Now, one thing you'll notice, Tim, throughout this game, it's something that Little League World Series is experimenting with here in the consolation games. It's a speed-up rule. The players have to stay in the box. There are some exceptions, but for the most part, they're trying to speed it up.
Yes, and we had a little trouble with that yesterday.
We did.
A couple of kids got confused naturally. They're used to stepping out of the box after every pitch, and a couple of guys jumped in and out thinking, oh, no, I made a mistake.
That is swung on and lifted softly into shallow left field, and it's the first hit of our ball game for Yuji Moreya. So here's a look now, in case you're wondering at home what the exceptions are. And it is confusing for these kids, Tim, because you talk about creatures of habit. They've done something a certain way their entire lives, although it's only been a handful of years, but they get used to that. And now all of a sudden, we saw a kid yesterday that actually dropped his bat and had to gingerly reach out of the batter's box while maintaining contact with the ground is to not have a strike call.
Right, because if there's a warning, after one warning, you get a strike called on you. And if you got 2 strikes, you could strike out in theory, but just by stepping out of the box.
Yeah, it's crazy, but it's all in an effort to try to speed things up. That one's wild, and going down to second base is Moreya. Here's a look at it, Tim.
Keep that foot in. He's good.
Very well done.
2 balls.
So Japan now with 1 out and a runner at second.
Ball. Low.
And that misses, and Britton Moore now.
He thought that was a strike.
He liked it.
Yeah.
So 3 balls and no strikes to Ryota Endo.
And Endo's favorite athlete, it just said, Stephen Curry. How about that?
Yeah. He just draws a 4-pitch walk. So now Japan with runners at first and second and 1 man down here in the top half of the first. It's a consolation game, Texas and Japan. A couple of powers here traditionally, but struggled a bit to this point. We talked about the success that these 2 programs have had here. Take a look at this. 27 all-time appearances for Japan, 23 for Texas. And again, this is just the second time for each that they find themselves 0-2 and playing in a consolation game.
Right. Well, the Japanese team is very good again this year, Jay. But that first game they lost was to Canada with the big kid who was throwing 78 miles an hour. Not many teams are going to advance when that kid's throwing that hard.
Tatsuya Suzuki, the cleanup hitter today for Japan. 5'3" cleanup hitter. Takes a called strike.
Jose Altuve's hit in the middle of the order at 5'5", so it happens even in the big leagues.
Yes, it does. Swung on and missed there, a little ahead of that one. I loved reading the bios for some of the Japanese players. Tatsuya Suzuki says he's a good singer, but he forgets the lyrics, which could be a bit of a problem.
Well, most of us are bad singers who don't know the lyrics.
Yeah, you're right. That swung on and missed, so the second out of the inning, also recorded on a strikeout. So 2 out, 2 on now for the 5-hitter, Rin Ikamoto.
Favorite sports team, the Los Angeles Dodgers. How about that?
Ball. Low.
Timmy likes doing mental math.
He does.
It's what the bio said.
Ball.
Both of his parents are acupuncturists.
2 balls.
Talking to some of the U.S. kids yesterday, a lot of them said that some of their favorite players internationally have been the kids from Japan.
Ball.
That one gets away. And the runners advance now to second and third.
Speaking of mental math, Ichiro Suzuki apparently is a mathematical genius. Bobby Valentine told me that. Bobby said he got on an elevator once with Ichiro, and he looked at the left side, all the buttons on the left side of the elevator, and added them up in his head in a matter of like 1 second. That's what Ichiro can do.
Wow. Can also hit.
Yeah. 3,000 of them.
How about that?
First ballot Hall of Fame.
Which is so impressive considering at the age in which he joined Major League Baseball, he crammed them in. That one's just off. And now the bases are loaded for Britton Moore. So a single and a couple of walks here. Joe Adachi. 2 for 4 so far in this tournament with a pair of RBI. So he's been able to hit in the clutch here so far.
Ball.
That misses low. Tim, you'll enjoy this. One of the favorite things for Joe to do, speed sit-ups.
Really?
I didn't even know that was a thing.
So he sees how fast he can do
How fast and how many. Yeah.
Okay, I know. Okay, well, just keep hitting there. You're doing a good job. Hey, we got an out at any base. Expect the baseball, short out, okay? Expect the baseball, make a play for Britt. Okay, we're going to pound the zone. Okay, expect it. We'll get out of this, I promise, okay? You're doing a good job, all right? Let's go.
Good advice there from Mike Wallace. Keep throwing strikes. You saw the count there.
Right.
He's thrown 23 pitches, and he's struggled so far with his location. So not a bad idea to come out and have a just quick conversation to remind him what he needs to do.
And during the pitching change, I just did 60 sit-ups. I don't know if you noticed that.
That's pretty good, Tim.
Pretty good.
That's really good. That's really good. Joe would be impressed.
Ball.
And that one misses low. And now the count runs to 2-0. Japan has them loaded with 2 outs here. Top half of the first inning.
Jay, on any level of pitching, you have to throw strikes. This is what we teach you right from the beginning, and Britton Moore is starting to get it here.
That one's hummed in there, so now it's 2-1. Last thing you want to do is give guys free bases and free runs. 2 walks already in the inning, so perhaps a little bit of nerves so far for Britton.
Ball.
And that one misses outside.
Which, of course, is understandable. We're in the Little League World Series here. They're playing a team from Japan. He'll straighten this out, I'm sure.
The 3-1. And that is laced into right field, and that's going to score 1 at least. And here comes the second run. The throw is not in time. And it's a 2-run single to get things going for Japan for Joe Adachi, who now has 4 runs batted in 3 games in the tournament. Good job going the other way, Tim.
He did, and the runner on first did a beautiful base running move there. He saw that ball was not going to be cut off. He said, I can get to third here, maybe scoring a wild pitch.
So Maria and Endo come in to score. Now runners at first and third with 2 out. And that brings up Sosuke Agawa. And So Hiraho, who, Tim, we talked about in the open, has the only home run for Japan here, is being used now as a special pinch runner. And
he steals second there, which we don't see very often here, Jay. Stolen bases in the Little League World Series. Again, when you can't lead until the ball crosses the plate, that's a tough thing to do, steal a base.
Well, Adachi trying to draw a throw, which perhaps could have allowed Hirao to come in and score. It's ruled a fielder's choice, indifference. So second and third now, 2 outs.
Ball. High.
And after throwing 2 strikes to Sosuke Agawa, Britton Moore misses with that one. A lot of pitches here, Tim, and that's something that we pay close attention to here is the pitch count. Already 30 pitches here in the top of the first. That is line foul down the left field line. No one can get to that. So we'll regroup and try it again.
Yesterday, Jay, of course, we saw the Italian team that their pitchers just threw strike after strike. And same with the Oregon team. And that keeps everyone together, keeps everyone loose. It's just tough when you get to 31, especially with a pitch count here in the first inning.
The most pitches that any Little Leaguer can throw in a game is 85. They can make that 85th pitch and then finish that at bat. And there's really no strategy today when it comes to using pitchers because both coaches know that this is the last game for their teams here at the Little League World Series. California making their way for their elimination game. California lost in their opener, bounced back nicely to win in game 2, so still alive. It's a lot more difficult once you suffer that first loss to fight your way back into that championship game. So we're full now. Sosuke Agawa batting with runners at second and third, 2 out. Japan up 2-0 here, top of the first, Little League World Series. Consolation game. And the payoff pitch is thrown by Sosuke Agawa for the 3rd strikeout of the inning, but Japan pushes 2 runs across. Japan 2, Texas coming up. Okay. Japan scores 2 in the top half of the first to take a 2-0 lead on Texas, which will bat now. Texas comes from San Antonio. Population over 1 million people. How about George Strait and Tommy Lee Jones? San Antonio natives. Let's meet the starting lineup. The kids from San Antonio, Texas, before they bat here in the first.
My name is Tim Arguello, and my favorite player is my grandpa.
Hi, my name is LJ Brown, and my favorite player is LeBron James.
I'm Ben Colton. My favorite player is David Ortiz.
My name is Blake Compton, and my favorite baseball player is David Ortiz.
My name is Jacob Kulba. My favorite player is my dad, Mike Kulba.
I'm Matthew Flores King, and my favorite player is Derek Jeter.
Hi, my name is Esteban Guillory. My favorite player is David Ortiz.
Hi, my name is Gibson Maldonado, and my favorite player is Dustin Pedroia.
My name is Orion Medina, and my favorite player is Ken Griffey Jr.
My name is Britton Moore, and my favorite player is Rougned Odor.
Hi, I'm Rylan Quinones, and my favorite baseball player is Bryce Harper.
Hi, I'm Dominic Tellis, and my favorite player is Elvis Andrews.
My name is Brody Tyser, and my favorite player is Bryce Harper.
Hi, my name is Caden Wallace, and my favorite player is Dustin Pedroia.
And throwing to the boys from San Antonio, Texas, Ryota Endo. And Tim, we already know he has a strong arm. In their last game here at the Little League World Series, Endo playing right field made a catch in the 5th inning in a very close game with Curacao. Look at that throw home.
That's beautiful, and that's what's so great about the Little League World Series is the pitcher goes and plays somewhere else and then throws as hard as he can from there. Reminds me of Tim Hudson during his days at Auburn. When he didn't pitch, he played center field, and he threw as hard as he could from center field if there was a play at the plate.
Strong arm will never let you down.
Absolutely.
And Endo's got one. And his first pitch to Dominic Tellis is in there for a strike.
Hey, Jay, I need to clarify something from yesterday. I told people that I went down the hill at 600 miles an hour.
Yeah.
And Michael, our stat guy, did some math on this.
That is swung on and lifted into left field. It wasn't 600 miles an hour. Is that what you're going to tell me?
Yeah, Michael did some math on this, feet per second, whatever that means, and determined that I went down the hill at 4.9 miles an hour.
Is that what it was?
Just my luck. We have a mathematician in the booth.
Mental mathematics.
604.9. I'd call that a big gap.
Yeah, that's a big gap. I could tell by watching the video it wasn't quite 600 miles an hour.
Well, I overshot just a little bit there.
Just a touch. And Endo's first pitch to Britton Moore is in there for a strike. I don't know, Tim. It looked like... I like your style. I've never seen anybody go down sideways and then end up backwards before.
I celebrated at the bottom because I didn't get hurt. That's all that mattered.
It's a worthy celebration.
Did he go?
Yes, he did.
On the appeal, strike 2. B-Money, Britton's nickname. That's a good nickname to have. Anytime money or cash is in your nickname, that's a good thing. The 0-2.
Ball.
He's not going to chase that one. We see so often, Tim, the pitchers from Japan with their slow and deliberate, almost interrupted motions to the plate.
And I know on the big league level that can throw off, that can distract a hitter.
That's knocked up the middle off the glove of Endo, and the throw over to first base is not in time, so that will be ruled a base hit, the first for Texas, and with one out, they have a runner.
There was no out made there, but Sato, the second baseman there, made a really good play to get in front of that ball, set his feet, and get something on this throwing off his back foot like that. That was really impressive. He almost got him at first.
It was close. But now Brody Tyser has a base runner with an out here in the bottom of the first. And that one gets away from the catcher, and alertly Britton Moore hustles down to second base, so they have a runner in scoring position.
And Jay, I would think just like in the big leagues, these little league hitters see a deliberate motion like this. Maybe you have never seen anything like that before, and it, in theory, could throw them off too.
Ball. That one's high. What's interesting, though, at the Little League World Series, there's obviously no stretch because the runners aren't allowed to take off from the bag until the ball crosses home plate. So you can stay in the windup throughout. Sometimes the Japanese pitchers are so drastically different from their windup motion, which they can take their time, and then when they have to speed things up in the stretch, it sort of messes with their mechanics a little bit.
Right. No worries about that here.
3 balls.
So 3 balls to count to Brody Tyser. And that one hits the zone. So 3-1. That one's hit hard to third, and it was a terrific play by Yujiro Moriah, who throws to second to double off Moore. The double play ends the bottom half of the first inning. Nice piece of leather by the third baseman from Japan. On to second for the double play. We're back for the top of the second. Japan leads Texas 2-0. We're back and ready for the top of the second. Japan leading Texas 2-0 in a consolation game here between a couple of historical powers here. Struggled a bit this year, so playing one more for memories here on what we're calling Kids Day here at the Little League World Series. We are about to have a blast in the play-by-play booth, and here's why. Tim and I were fortunate enough to bring you the first inning, but now we're joined, and we will be throughout this game, by various Little Leaguers from different teams. That right now it's the kids from Oregon, later it'll be the kids from New York, and then from Kentucky. But we have with us Joe Schutz and Declan Corrigan. Declan actually wants to be, Tim, a sportscaster when he gets a little older. You get your chance here today at the Little League World Series. Guys, welcome. Psyched? What are you feeling sitting up here in the booth?
Well, I'm really excited. It's going to be super fun.
Declan?
A little nervous, but it's going to be fun.
No nerves.
Yeah.
It'll be fine. You'll have Jay's job by the 6th inning. That's my prediction.
Maybe by the 3rd inning. Now, Tim had joked earlier that if you want to come up here and join us in the booth, you got to be close to Tim's height. And, well, it looks like Joe is just under Tim, and so is Declan.
How about that?
So you're 2-0, Tim.
Right, and that's the only 2 I've ever won in my entire life.
Yeah.
All right, guys, there you go. Welcome to the play-by-play booth. And by the way, it's been a blast watching you guys play. I know you had the heartbreaking loss to Tennessee in the opener, but you bounced back with a nice win yesterday, and that had to feel good.
Yeah.
What's been your favorite thing so far, Declan, at the Little League World Series? What have you enjoyed the most?
Just playing on this field. It's pretty fun.
It's pretty fun.
Yeah.
Joe, how about you? You have a memory that sticks out, one play that stands out for you?
Yeah, probably playing on the field. I mean, it's such an amazing place to be on. And the hill, that's so cool to see since I'm a catcher, just being behind and seeing everybody slide down that hill.
Did you guys slide down the hill?
Yeah, we did yesterday.
Yeah, I did it yesterday.
Did you go faster than 4.9 miles an hour, do you think?
Probably not. Probably not, yeah.
That's Tim's speed when he did it.
That's really slow, by the way.
Well, we know that, Joe, you like to have fun when you're out there playing the game. What's your approach?
Ball 4.
as the Japanese hitter draws a walk to start the top of the second. What's your approach to the game of baseball? Keep it fun, keep it loose.
Yeah, having fun. Probably just, yeah.
Declan, I'm guessing he's the cut up on the team.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah.
We've got a conference here on the mound. So, Joe, you've been involved in these.
Yeah.
Coach wants to come out and talk to the pitcher. What's your role in all of this? You just listen?
Switch, okay? Yeah, I kind of just listen, just kind of listen what the coach is saying, and kind of give the tipper and pitcher some tips. And, yeah.
Well, we're going to make a pitching change. Britton Moore is out.
And how does this work, fellas, when you're playing another position and coach comes out and says, now you're pitching? You really haven't gotten a chance to warm up. How does it work that just the 7 pitches you get to throw here, that's your warm up? Is that it? Is that difficult to do?
Well, pitchers have the bullpen down there.
But I mean, if you're on the field and they take you from right field and make you the pitcher, is this the only warm up you get? And can you get loose in time?
I think you can get loose in time.
Yeah. Well, I'm not really a pitcher, so I'm not really sure.
You've never had to take off the catcher's gear and then run out there to pitch. Very good. Everybody has a nickname in Little League Baseball.
Yeah.
Joe, what's yours?
Shootsy.
Shootsy, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Not very complicated there. Play off the last name Shoots.
Yeah.
Declan, how about you?
The Panther.
The Panther? Well, that's a cool nickname. How'd that come about?
Just the way I run the bases, the coach gave me that nickname.
So you're fast.
Yeah.
Now, Evan Ullman, who we've enjoyed watching Evan play, Einstein. That's a nickname.
What's behind that?
Well, if he's watching right now, he might get mad. But
it's okay. That's what we're here for.
He's not watching. Go ahead.
Well, sometimes he kind of says some not too smart things.
Oh. So it's a little contradiction there.
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah. So,
all right. Sarcastic nickname.
Yeah.
Well, there's just a beautiful bunt, and that's going to be a base hit. Just a terrific bunt.
Well, Jay, a few big leaguers could learn how to drop a bunt from the right side just like that did, because that was textbook right there.
Yeah, there's almost nothing you can do in that instance. And whether it was initially intended to move an Aoi onto second or just go for a base hit, it worked for both. So it's a base hit bunt for Sato.
Got it right down the right field line.
Declan, you know a thing or two about bunting.
Yeah.
We happen to have some tape of one of your bunts. How much do you guys work on this?
Not very much, but I had an arm injury since, I don't know, October, and that's the only thing I could do in the Little League regular season. So.
That's all you could do is bunt?
Yeah.
Wow.
So I kind of had to work on it a little bit.
Well, you'll get pretty good at it if all you can do is drop down bunts. Came in handy here.
Yeah.
That is swung on and foul down the left field line. The off-speed pitch driven into left field, but foul.
Where is the rest of your guys' team? Well, you guys get to come up here. What are they doing right now?
I think they probably just left in an amusement park. Yeah.
Now, wait a minute. Would you guys rather be at the amusement park or with Tim and I?
I would be with you guys right here.
That one's nubbed foul down the first baseline, and they'll get the force on Jozawa for the first out of the inning, but the 2 runners move up. So us over the amusement park. Well, Tim, I'm pleased with that.
When Jay does play-by-play, it's a roller coaster up here anyway, so just get ready for the ride.
Yeah.
You never know, kids. You just never know. So 1 out. You want to try, Declan, you want to be a broadcaster. You want to call the game?
Sure.
All right, so that's going to drive in a run. Yajiro Moraya.
And Brody Tyser made a really nice play there, Jay, to keep that ball in the infield, keep another run from scoring. That ball was hit hard. He knocked it down.
But they do push the 3rd run of the game across. And it's 3-1. Terrific play to knock it down. Ball. All right, Declan, take it away, man. You're the play-by-play guy. No worries here. We're here to have fun. We'll help you with the names, okay? How's that?
Okay.
All right. So your pitcher here is Gibson Maldonado.
Ball.
I don't know.
That's in the dirt. It's a ball in the dirt. Now, if you can't perfectly see everything, here's your monitor, so you can look at this. And this is live. That one, don't pay no attention to that one. This one here is live.
Okay.
So that'll give you sometimes a better view of what's going on.
And that'll be scored a wild pitch. That ball hit the dirt first, so we got runners at second and third now with 1 out.
Oh,
You thought that might be coming back here in the box, didn't you?
I thought it was going out in the field.
From seeing what happened.
So it's a little tricky, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
All right.
Who was the guy that got the foul ball up here?
That was John Kruk.
John Kruk. Good hands. So be ready, guys, because they do come back here from time to time.
Yeah.
And I'll be diving for cover. I'm just warning you.
This is Ryota Endo. Ryota Endo is the hitter. Okay?
Okay. Ryota Endo.
Ball.
Ball outside.
All right. Good job.
Yeah.
Ball outside, and there's the walk, and the bases are loaded. So here's what we're going to do, Declan. From time to time during the course of the broadcast, we have some downtime. We read some promotions, some things to let everybody know what's coming up. Go ahead. Give it a shot.
Tonight at 10 p.m. Eastern on ESPN, we'll have Jacoby Ellsbury and the Yankees talking on the Mariners and the big three of Robinson Cano, Nelson Cruz, and Kyle Seager at Safeco. Former M and 2016 Hall of Fame inductee Ken Griffey Jr. joins Boog Sut and Doug Glanville in the booth for an entire game. It's also streaming live on the ESPN app and Watch ESPN.
Very good.
I'm in trouble, Tim.
Told you.
Declan, how fun was that?
Pretty fun.
Ball.
Now, you guys are from Oregon, right, Tim? I would imagine.
You guys Mariner fans?
I'm an Angels fan.
You're an Angels fan?
I like the Mariners and the Giants.
Well, we had Ken Griffey Jr. mentioned on that. I keep forgetting how young you kids are. Did you ever see him play? Do you know who he is, really?
Yeah.
A little bit.
Wow. How about the play by Gibson Maldonado? He snares the line drive back to him.
That's a double play.
That's a double play. That's a good call there, Declan. Hey, the guys are just getting warm. They're back for the bottom half of the second. We're back after this. Japan's up 3-0. Okay, Joe, you're going to bring us back with this card, okay? Right. When he says go, you read that.
Welcome back to ESPN's coverage of the Little League World Series, presented by Kellogg's Frosted Flakes.
And if you're just joining us and you're wondering, hey, wait a minute, who's this new play-by-play voice on ESPN? Well, that's Joe Schutz and Declan Corrigan, a couple of players from Oregon. And what we're doing today, Tim, is we're joined in the booth for a couple of innings by players from Oregon, and then we'll get the kids from New York, and then finally the kids from Kentucky. So it's your show. We want you guys to tell us how you see the game. So you guys are going to call this inning.
Okay.
We'll help you with some names here and there, but it's all you guys.
So now we have a pinch hitter, Blake Compton, batting for Texas.
Oh, that's a foul ball.
Shot for foul ball, but.
What'd you think of the swing, guys? It's got a good swing?
Pretty good swing.
Pretty good swing.
All right.
Lines up for the pitch.
Ball
in the dirt.
What do you think of the Japanese players' wind-up? Start, stop.
I think it's kind of cool. I mean, it's a little kind of wild wind-up, but it's pretty cool. I mean,
would it throw you off as a hitter?
No. Wind-ups don't really throw me off. Kind of just like the pitch.
You're waiting for the ball to come out of the hand, right?
Yeah.
Hey, look, if you guys need to stand, too, to see the field, by all means. Sometimes Tim needs to do that also.
I have to stand on my chair to see the field.
Lining up
ball outside.
Just missing.
Joe, the catcher lined up way outside.
Yeah.
Tell us what that happens there. What is he telling the pitcher?
To just hit the outside corner. I'll show you where he lined up after this pitch. I mean,
Did he go?
Right. Yeah.
Well, that's way outside,
yeah,
too,
that's
isn't
way
it?
out. I mean, I think the coach was probably calling, like, way out, so maybe to get the 3-2 count now.
Ball.
Just
ball low for a walk.
So, Joe, as a catcher, the coach is calling every pitch. He relays to you. What? You don't have to give us a specific sign, but how does he tell you what pitch he wants you to throw?
He does face signals, like all that stuff, and then there's like, so should I tell you guys? I mean,
I think you should.
Okay, so you got like nose is fastball, whatever he ends on is the pitch. So it's like
there's no indicator then.
No, there's not.
So if he goes nose, chin, cheek, nose, it's nose, and that's
it's fastball. Yeah,
Okay.
and then you got chin is like
that's
change up.
Yeah.
And then you got hat
is like their curve.
Is their curve, yeah.
Right. Does the pitcher ever shake you off?
No.
Never.
They're not allowed to?
If they shake off, the coaches will get really mad.
There's a shot to left field.
Oh, nice catch by Sosuke Igawa.
Pretty close. Sosuke Igawa.
Yeah, okay.
Pretty close. And listen, Tim and I are having a hard time with it too.
Yeah.
So we're in the bottom half of the second inning. Japan leading Texas 3-0, and we've got Joe Schutz and Declan Corrigan, a couple of Oregon ball players in here, trying their hand at play-by-play and doing a pretty good job too.
Oh, that's right.
Ball for a strike.
Guys, this is a pinch hitter, Rylan Quinones.
Okay.
So let's see what he can do.
Favorite emoji is the heart.
What's your favorite?
His is the heart.
Yeah, what's yours?
The kissing emoji, I think.
Kissing emoji?
Yeah.
Declan?
Probably the 100.
100. That's one of my faves, too.
Yeah.
Tim's a big fan of the 100.
No, I just learned about emojis yesterday. I still don't know how to work an emoji on my phone. Could you show me seriously?
Yeah.
How do you do an emoji here?
You get,
oh,
right
it's
there.
that button there.
Yeah.
So can you put a baseball emoji up there for me?
Right there. There you go.
That's all it was?
Yeah.
Jeez, I could have figured that out.
Yeah.
So now I know how to do an emoji.
So if you see Tim tweeting emojis, you can thank Declan.
Yeah.
So on the wild pitch, the runner takes second now.
Yep.
So guys, in this situation, you've got one out, you're down 3-0. You know you can't hit a three-run home run.
Yeah.
So what are you looking to do here?
Maybe base hit in the gap, try to score the runner.
I'll put the ball right field.
There
you go. He's sending him.
That will score
he's
the
safe.
runner.
He's safe.
All right. Good job, guys.
Yeah.
He's sending them. You're looking for the coach at third base to see what he's going to do.
Yep.
And the first run of the game is scored for Texas now on the base hit by Ryan Quinones.
Nice ball hit right up the middle. On the gap, too. He barrels up on that one.
Barrels up, Tim.
Yep.
There you go. That's a big league term.
Oh, almost a double play. Great turn by the second baseman.
It was a good turn. Looked for a second like they might be able to flip the double play, but
close one.
Gibson Maldonado.
That's where I would hit the ball.
Hustling down the line.
Right field. You got 2 outs.
How about the technique on the turn, guys?
It was good. I mean,
pretty good, yeah.
That's where you want to turn. Right on the glove side.
The ball low for a ball.
This is Caden Wallace batting for Texas. How much have you guys had a chance to interact with some of the other players, both on the U.S. and the international side?
Yeah, we've seen a lot of them in the rec room. It's like an arcade and all that. Oh, there's a ball. And we kind of see them around. Dinner, lunch, breakfast, all that.
And then we share a dorm room, share dorms like a bathroom with South Korea, and they're pretty funny.
Yeah, they're super funny.
So can you guys communicate with them even though you don't speak the same language? How do you do that?
They know a little bit of English. Like we could tell them our names and they'll know. They tell us their names. And they know a little bit of English.
And then if they don't know English, we'll probably use like hand signs or something like that.
Leave it to baseball players to communicate with hand signs.
Yeah, we teach them a lot of handshakes too.
Right. Touch the nose, touch the chin. That means hello.
Yeah.
That fly ball is lifted to left, and that's going to end the second. And guys, unfortunately, that's going to end our time together. But we had a blast. We certainly hope you did too. Declan Corrigan, Joe Schutz from Oregon. Guys, take home 1,000,000 memories with you.
Yeah, we will.
Get off to the amusement park.
Yeah, and go ride some rides. The boys from New York join us when we come. Boy, beautiful picture of the Susquehanna River here in South Williamsport, Pennsylvania. Japan leading Texas 3-1 in a consolation game. And in case you're just joining us, we're having fun today. We just were joined in the booth by the youngsters from Oregon. And now we have a couple of kids who are still very much in the thick of things here. From the New York team, Maine Endwell, we have Michael Mancini, one of the star pitchers of this Little League World Series, and one of the top hitters of this Little League World Series. Ryan Harlost is here to join Tim and I. Guys, welcome. We're pleased to have you.
Thank you.
They're both taller than me. And how about this image right here, Jay?
I was going to say, how beautiful is that picture?
This is the story of my life right here. Look at this. He's 5 inches taller than me, and I'm 47 years older.
So Tim was taller than both of the Oregon players, but now it's 2-2 as the New Yorkers come in, and they're towering over Tim. I'm sorry, Tim.
That's right. And then I get the lowest seat here, too.
Hey, Tim, we talked in the open about So Hirao, the only player for Japan to homer. He's now batting for Japan as a pinch hitter. And, guys, we want you to bring the game to our viewers through your eyes. So as you would sit in the stands and watch a game, have the same conversation with us here. You good to do that?
Yeah.
Who's the talker of the group? Is it Michael or is it Ryan?
It's Michael.
Me. All right. So Michael, we're designating you as the play-by-play guy. You cool with that?
Got it.
All right. Very good.
So Michael, we were just talking to the last guys about who calls the pitches for every game. So do you ever shake off the catcher in a game, or is that not allowed?
Not anymore. I mean, sometimes.
You did it once and it didn't go very well?
No.
Yeah, there might be a story there. What happened?
Ball. Yeah, home run.
He hit a home run. You shook off the catcher who got the sign from the coach, and then he hit a homer.
Like, my dad calls the shake-offs, too. So, like,
oh, he does.
He called the shake-off, and then the catcher put down the fist, so I shook him off, and then he hit the sign. It was a good play.
Nice play by Brody Tyser, the second baseman. Let's show you some of the highlights from Michael on the mound. And boy, Michael has just been a dynamo here for New York in this Little League World Series. We're looking at your stats earlier today. You threw 11 innings in regional play and had 22 strikeouts. And pretty much the same thing is held so far here at the Little League World Series. 13 strikeouts. You're leading all pitchers in the tournament with 13 Ks.
Ball. I didn't even know that.
Now you know.
Yeah.
There you go. Michael, that's a pretty good curveball you have there. It looks like you throw that almost as much as you throw your fastball. Is that true?
Yes.
So it's like a 50-50 split?
Yeah, kind of. I mean, I just feel like my curveball is like kind of like my go-to pitch.
Joe Adachi tries to lay down a base hit bunt, but thrown out at first for the second out. And then Ryan, there's this.
Doesn't even look like you're swinging all the way there.
Yeah, he just
it's like a check swing.
Flicked his bat at that. So Ryan, as you're running around the bases after a Little League World Series, what is going through your head?
I don't know. I'm just trying to help out the team. Just making solid contact.
Wow. The ball you hit out yesterday was about 8 inches off the plate and away.
He just like stuck his hands out.
Yeah.
Just throw your hands at it and it's over the fence for a home run.
Yeah.
Must be nice. That one's popped up and will be handled by the catcher for the second out of the inning. Actually, that's the final out of the inning. Time flies when you're having fun.
Yeah.
Michael, Ryan, stick around. We're going to have you call the second half of your inning after this. Feel free. Let's go, guys. Beautiful images from South Williamsport. Consolation game between Japan and Texas. Japan leading so far 3-1. We've played 2.5, and we're joined in the booth by a couple of guys from New York who are going to help us with this half of the inning.
The Little League World Series presented by Kellogg's continues on ESPN.
Way to go.
So today we have Canada versus Mexico at 1, Rhode Island and Iowa at 3, Australia and Canada at 5, and Tennessee and California at 7:30.
There we go. There we go. Australia and Curacao. But look, they're beginners. This is all new to you guys, huh?
Yeah.
You having a good time, though, so far?
Lots of fun.
Very good. Ryan Harlost and Michael Mancini. And this is Esteban Gilroy hitting now for Texas.
Favorite baseball player is David Ortiz. Michael, your favorite player is?
Derek Jeter.
Ryan, yours is?
Bryce Harper.
Little heat there.
High heat.
Yeah.
How hard do we think this guy is throwing? Do we know? Roughly?
I would say 70.
Yeah, maybe 70.
72? Michael, how hard do you throw?
I don't really feel like I throw that hard. I just feel like I have a good curveball.
Do they have a gun on you guys at all to measure velocity?
Like back home or?
Anywhere. Have you pitched in a game where they had a radar gun on you?
No.
Okay.
Well, we just checked the gun, and Ryota Endo is throwing 64 miles an hour. And that one is thrown by Gilroy for the strikeout to lead off the bottom half of the third. Came up the ladder, didn't he, guys?
Yeah. High heat.
That looks good coming out of the pitcher's hand, but it's so hard to catch up to, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really hard to catch up to.
What's been your favorite part so far, Ryan?
Probably just playing baseball and getting to meet all the other teams from everywhere else around the world.
All the other kids have been fun?
Yeah.
Michael, how about you? Do you have one highlight so far, one play, one moment that stands out more than the others?
Probably pitching, yesterday.
Towing the rubber, pretty fun, huh?
Yeah.
Now the dancing with dugout is has that it? Has that been a lot of fun?
Yeah.
What is that?
He just comes over and dances. I just take the stage.
And I'm thinking the moves here are pretty good. Who's the dancer on the team?
Me.
Yeah, Michael.
Michael's good.
He's got the moves.
Jay is the best dancer at ESPN.
Which probably isn't saying a whole lot.
I was kidding.
He definitely was kidding. So you guys are really on a nice run here, 2-0, and you've got the game tomorrow night against Kentucky, a win there, and that puts you in the U.S. Championship game. So what's your approach here on your off day? I know you're spending some time with us, but what's your approach here? How are you handling the nerves of all of this?
I mean, we just try to get the nerves out of us, turn those into bats, and just play our game and hope for the best.
Yeah.
Ryan?
It's just another game. Just kind of play like you do.
What's the rest of the team doing today while you guys are broadcasting the game?
I think they're hitting down in the cage right now.
BP practice.
All right, and you're headed down there after this?
Yeah.
Just got jammed right there.
The high pop out is retired. Dominic Tellis. So he came in on him. Take us through this.
Looked like he got fisted.
Yes, he did.
Yeah.
So the other guys are taking their hacks, and you're working with a couple hacks here. That's good.
Yeah.
It's a good stop.
How important is it to the catcher to what you're doing when you're out there on the mound, Michael? Your rapport with him, your relationship with him.
It's very important to know that, like, if I throw a curveball in the dirt, he can block in, not let it drop third, he can get to first easily. So.
Tim and I have noticed in this tournament that you in particular, but a lot of the pitchers aren't afraid to throw a curveball anywhere in the count. 3-1, we've seen guys throw curveballs. Talk about the confidence you have to throw that pitch in particular for strike anytime in the count.
I mean, I have a lot of confidence to know that I can throw that curveball. I mean, I've been working on that curveball since I was like 9 or 10. Like, we haven't thrown it, but me and my brother go out back and we just work on it, and he's taught me a lot.
Now, Michael, how do you protect your arm to make sure you don't get hurt when you are throwing a bunch of curveballs?
I mean, I just kind of don't overuse it, the motions. Don't do anything wrong. You have to be very careful when you throw that curveball. You can't mess up or it can lead to serious injury.
So Britton Moore here with a 2-out double, trying to get the kids from Texas another run.
That was a great hit.
It was a solid line drive.
Yeah, nice piece of hitting the other way. We've got some tape here of your Uncle Charlie, the Deuce. You really get on top of that too, don't you?
Yeah.
We noticed that a lot of times there's another hit. That's up the middle.
That's up the middle.
It's bleeding.
Hey, it's 2 down, kid. I just told you.
Well,
hey, come on, Britt. Look at me. You have to stop thinking and reacting. Come on now.
So the base hit from Brody Tyser. Hard hit ball to center field. Would have been a very close play if Britton Moore had tried to score.
I don't think he would have got there, only because he hit the cutoff really well, and he just got to third base and he hit the cutoff right there.
Hey, it's 2 down, kid.
Got the ball in fast.
I might be with you guys on that one.
Yes.
I think the thinking there is to try to be aggressive and make Japan throw the baseball, but it was a good throw home. Been a real close play.
Yeah.
Ben Colton now hitting with runners on first and third, the pinch hitter for Southwest.
Ball.
We were saying you'd like to start your curveball. You'll throw it in and have it break over on a pitch that can be called. And then after you've thrown that, you'll start it down the middle as a chase pitch, and it goes outside. And oftentimes you get guys that can't lay off of it. Which one would you rather throw? The one that starts for a strike or the one that ends for a strike?
Depends on the count. If it's 1-2, I'll throw it like that. That doesn't start with the strike.
Yeah.
To curves in. But
try to get him to chase?
Yeah. But if it's 3-1, I'll try to throw it for a strike.
Ball.
That is outside. So here's the other one I was talking about. This is the one that... Boy, look at this. It's well done. Wow, that was a called strike 3, and that's going to end the inning. And I think everyone is a bit confused, including Ben Colton, the pinch hitter who leaves runners at first and third. Looked a bit inside, but nonetheless, that's going to do it. Michael, Ryan, thanks for joining us. We enjoyed it. And best of luck to you tomorrow night when you play for a trip to the U.S. Championship game. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We're back with more Texas and Japan right after this. What's up, guys? Jay.
Nice to meet you.
Devin, nice to meet you. 3-1's our score in the consolation game to get things going. First of 5 games today. Everything after this is an elimination game as you look at guys taking their runs down the hill. So we've heard from the kids from Oregon. We've heard from the kids from New York. Now we are joined by a couple of guys from the team that will play New York tomorrow night, and that's the team from Kentucky, Bowling Green. You guys were here a year ago. Joining us now, John Guthrie, and also Devin Obie. So, guys, first of all, thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having us.
And it's, wow, I like the command of the voice. So here you go. Tim, I'm sorry. You're shorter than both.
A little bit taller.
So, Tim, the official count is you were taller than 2.
Yes, and way shorter than 4.
Yeah.
And Devin here, he grew 6 inches in the last year. I think my comment to him, I didn't grow 6 inches in 25 years.
Well, guys, thanks for joining us. We appreciate you doing so. We're just going to have some fun here, talk a little baseball, and we'd like for you guys to explain the action, sort of be the play-by-play broadcasters, and we'll just fill in and have a good time. Does that sound good?
Absolutely.
All right, now here's your defensive chart, guys. This is the way this is the way Texas is lined up defensively, so if you need any of the names, there you go. As for the Japanese names, good luck. Tim and I have struggled a little bit with those throughout the day, but we're doing our best. And right now, Takumi Ito is your hitter. So Takumi Ito is your hitter. He's a pinch hitter for Japan. And your pitcher is Gibson Maldonado. So go ahead. Who wants to do play-by-play? Devin, do you want to do it?
Yeah, sure. Oh, foul ball.
Nice rip. Just missed it.
Yeah, just got a piece of it.
If the ball comes up here, we're counting on you guys, the ball players, to catch it and save the 2 old guys, okay?
Yes, sir.
I saw someone caught it up here. We were over in the players section.
John Kruk
had a nice snag up here.
Great hands for Krucky.
Former big leaguer, he better make that catch.
Ball. Ooh. Actually, the way Krucky explained it, he just was too slow to move. It hit him in the chest and fell into his hands.
It was self-defense, 100%. 3-1 is our score here. Japan hitting in the top of the 4th inning. So, guys, what's been the best thing for you? What's been the highlight of your trip? Devin, you first. What's been your highlight?
I think it's just playing on the field. The field's perfect. Playing with all the fans watching, being on ESPN, and just having fun playing baseball.
Yeah, just playing the game on the field, it's unbelievable. Everything here is just so perfect.
Touch of the big leagues for sure.
So I'm sure you guys get to play on good fields at home, but when it comes to a beautifully manicured field, have you ever played on anything close to this?
It's indescribable. There's nothing's better. Close.
So as an infielder, you're going to get a true hop so much more often here than you are anywhere else. Is that fair to say?
Yes, there's no bad hops on this dirt. It's perfect.
It is perfect. It's probably as close to playing on a major league field as you can get, really.
Now, do most of your fields have fences, meaning you hit home runs and get to run around the bases, or do you play on a lot of fields that don't have a fence?
Oh, yes, there's fences where you hit a home run, you just run around the bases.
Are most of the fences this length? Are they bigger ballparks, smaller ballparks, the ones you usually play in?
In our Little League, we play on 200 fences, so it's a little shorter. But
the fence is a little taller.
Yeah.
I see.
Pinch hitter for Japan, Genkei Matsuura. Trying to knock another run in. Japan already up 3-1. Devin, you have somebody in your life that can give you some advice as to what it's like to play in front of large crowds. Tell us about that.
My dad played in the NFL. He was just telling me just to be relaxed, and because there's a lot of fans, you'll mess up. Everybody messes up. Just play the next play and just have fun.
There's a picture of Dad.
Have you seen highlights, clips of him playing?
A few highlights, yeah. There's a few. If you search it up on YouTube, you can see a few.
Very good. So, John, what has it been like for you playing in front of crowds this size?
Unbelievable experience. Nothing in my life's ever been close to this opportunity, and we're just enjoying every bit of it.
Devin, when your dad says, "What does the lion say?" What does that mean?
It's like we eat every time we go on the field. The lion's hungry. We need to start batting, get the bats ready, and just eat.
And
keep
feed
hitting.
the lion.
Yeah, feed the lion.
Very good.
I see.
Well, it's worked for you guys so far. You've won your games by 10 runs each time. Beating Oregon 11-1 in the opener, and then the game last night against Iowa 14-4 in extra innings. That 7th inning, I think you guys hit for 45 minutes. What was that like?
It was a really long rally. The first few innings, we didn't do so well. We left a few people on base, but at the 7th inning, we scored 11 runs and just went all it.
Nice play by the pitcher.
Now, are you guys tired today at all after playing a 3-hour, 20-minute game, finishing at 11:30 and getting up this morning? You tired at all?
Our coaches were really nice to us and let us sleep in today.
Sleep in. And what does sleep in mean? How late did you get to sleep?
8:30. 8:30. And that's been nice for us.
What time's normal wake up?
7, 6:45.
6:45, yeah. Okay, that's good sleep. Tim, I'm sorry, but each time they take this booth, are you sitting on a chair that's a lot smaller than ours?
Yes, this is the story of my life. I told you, I'm always the guy at the end, crammed in somewhere in the smallest seat. This is ridiculous.
We should have given Tim
Wasn't it enough
a
to be
chair.
4 inches shorter than both of these guys, and then you give me the worst chair in the house?
I'm sorry, Tim.
59 years old, Jay.
What's it like for you guys? Here's a guy sitting next to you in Tim Kirkshin who is literally a walking encyclopedia when it comes to the sport of baseball.
Watch out.
Oh, that one can't be handled. He makes it a living talking to major league players. He's a man of a million stories, and now he's covering your games. What is that like for you?
It's really, really cool because my grandpa and my family's a big fan of him because my grandpa's from Oswego, Kansas.
Oh, really?
And I understand that you came
Visited
there for
there.
a reunion.
My father-in-law played on a team there that set all sorts of records and won all sorts of championships.
Absolutely. My grandpa's a huge fan of. He said you're catcher.
Yes,
Your family's a
my
catcher.
father-in-law was a catcher,
Wow.
and he played on that team, and they had a reunion in Oswego, and I went. It was very cool.
Yeah, the man's a walking encyclopedia when it comes to baseball. There's probably not a name that we can bring up at ESPN that he doesn't instantly have a great story on, and now he's going to have stories to tell on you guys.
I've got to ask you a question then. How is Mike Moustakas in person?
He's one of the real nice guys in person, and he's really good when he's going bad, and he's really good when he's going well,
Yeah.
which tells you that no matter how he's going to be the same guy every day. And as a writer who covers the game, it's always good to know that you can talk to Mike Moustakas about anything, anytime. Is he your favorite player?
Absolutely. I'm a giant Royals fan. I think last summer me and my dad didn't miss a game on TV.
Right.
We couldn't this year just because of baseball. But they're huge Royals fans, and he's a big idol of mine.
Right. Now, John, are you the stock? Do you know about stocks? Because I've lost a little bit of money lately. I need a little help.
I do. I know a thing or two about stocks.
And that one's driven into left field. Yoiro Moara with a double that's going to knock in
great speed on the base pass.
Yeah, flying around the bases.
So where did the stock come from? I mean, where's that interest come from?
I give a lot of credit to my brother Peter. Peter had a lot of interest in it and came home and encouraged me to start. And ever since then, I've just really enjoyed it and took it in as a passion.
Cool.
Any hot tips for us?
The pet industry.
Yeah?
There's always a demand for pets.
It's exploding.
Absolutely. It's not exploding, but it's safe. You're never going to go bad.
So it's a safe bet. It's a long-term play.
Yeah, long-term, you're never going to go bad with pets.
Tim and I were looking at your portfolio. You have Nike and Under Armour.
Absolutely, yeah.
Is there a winner between the two, or you just believe in the industry in general?
I believe that there's always a supply for clothes. I feel like the sports industry is never going to run out, and I think that you can't go wrong with those two either.
Jay, he's smarter than you.
That's not hard. Wow, John, that's impressive stuff. Now, Devin, do you care at all about the stock market? Right. You're not looking at
my dad did a few stocks, but I never really cared for stocks anyway.
You're young. It'll mean something to you down the road.
Yeah.
And then you can call John, who I'm sure will give you a nice price on a couple of hot tips. Devin, your nickname. Are you a Star Wars guy? What's your nickname?
Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Yeah, so tell us how that happened.
It kind of started when I was young, playing t-ball, and Coach Pitch and all the kids would say Obi-Wan Kenobi because Star Wars was big back then. I never really watched Star Wars, but after that I just kept saying it. And with Obi-Wan Kenobi, and I just stay with it for the rest of my life.
Here's Devin Obi. Waited on that one and whacked it to a home run. It went over the wall, and Obi has gone deep.
So what do you think of that?
I liked it a lot. I liked the lightsaber, the effects, and how they did that. I don't know how, but that was really cool.
Well, Japan trying to steal a base. Didn't happen. It's the third out of the inning, but they push a run across 4-1. Devin, John, stay put. Got much more to talk to you guys about in the bottom half of the inning.
Welcome back to ESPN's coverage of the Little League World Series presented by Kellogg's Frosted Flakes.
Little League University provides web-based training for coaches, umpires, Little League volunteers, and parents. Watch videos, review practice plans, or just see some ideas for playing catch in the backyard. Visit and join for free at littleleagueuniversity.org today.
Pretty smooth read, Jay.
Yeah, well done. I'm telling you guys, if baseball isn't your future, broadcasting could be. Terrific job. If you're just joining us, John Guthrie, Devin Obi in the box with us, helping us call the consolation game. Japan leading Texas 4-1. We're in the bottom half of the fourth inning, and you guys are busy because tomorrow night you will play the boys from New York, and the winner gets a spot in the U.S. title game.
Absolutely.
You guys don't look nervous or concerned at all. How are you handling the nerves and the pressure? What's going on here?
We've got a wonderful coaching staff that's telling us how to handle these situations. And really, we believe since day one that we could be in this opportunity. Man, he crushed that.
He crushed that indeed, but it was foul. That is Matthew Flores King is the pinch hitter for Texas. That was punished.
Devin, do you play football?
No.
Your dad is a former NFL player, and you don't play football. What is the story there?
He actually didn't start till high school. He didn't want me to play because it's too early. He said it was too early. Football can wait.
Oh, my.
Wow.
Great play.
What a play by Yujiro Mariah down at third base.
Japan is a wonderful defensive team. The third baseman is such a solid player. We've seen so much of him.
Look at the range and then the throw.
Oh, we've seen so much of that when we've watched Japan.
Very well done.
So Devin, football can wait, your dad said. So eventually you'll play, but he wants to make sure you get baseball first and then football second. Is that how it works?
Yes, because he said lots of injuries, concussions, all that. Because every game when you go out on the football field, you're going to get hurt.
Now, interesting. John, do you play another sport?
Yeah, I play basketball and tennis.
Good, good. If I may, fellas, playing multiple sports is going to make you better at all the sports. You'll be a better baseball player because you play basketball.
Absolutely.
And Devin, when you play football, you'll be a better football player because you played baseball.
Now, you played on the varsity tennis team.
Yes, sir.
As a 12-year-old.
Yes, sir.
How does that happen?
Tennis is a sport that comes to me very naturally, and I put a lot of time and effort to it, and it paid off.
You big boomer, big serve?
I like to think so, yeah.
How about that, Tim? He's playing varsity tennis, and he's 12 years old. Devin, I wanted to ask you, batting now for Texas is a young man, LJ Brown. His dad was an 8-year player in the NBA. He played with the Cavaliers and LeBron James. He won a championship with the San Antonio Spurs. Have you had a chance yet to meet LJ?
Not yet. I've seen him a few times in the dorms and just talked to him a little bit, but I haven't really spoke to him about that.
Well, if you run into him, you may want to introduce yourself. Say, you know, my pops was a pro player as well.
Yeah, that'd be great. I'll do that later.
All right, there he is, number 4 for Texas, LJ Brown. We want you guys to, their voices are so good and commanding, Tim. I think they should call some play-by-play.
Are you saying my voice is not good and commanding?
Nor mine.
It's not.
I saw the Andrew McCutcheon impersonation. That was funny.
Is there anybody you want to see Tim do while we're here?
Let's see here. What's your Allen Iverson practice impersonation?
I can't. So Iverson said, what did he say? Practice?
We're talking about practice.
Practice?
Yeah.
That was pretty good.
Yeah.
But seriously, there's a lesson here that the greatest players are great practice players, too. Michael Jordan used to go to practice ready to tear you to pieces. That's why he ended up so great. And you guys see it through baseball. When you practice well, there's a much better chance you're going to play.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
I'm wondering, John, you're a big Tim Kirkshin fan.
Yeah.
Do you have a Tim Kirkshin impersonation?
I don't. I don't know. I just can't master it.
Well,
John,
listen.
you're the only one that doesn't have one, it seems.
Well, listen to Tim throughout the inning here, and maybe before we go, you can break off a little Tim Kirkshin for us. Tim's right. Everybody at ESPN seems to have.
Right. And you can't hurt my feelings, believe me.
That's why we love Tim. You guys had, as LJ grounds out to third.
There you see the third base with another strong play.
Yeah, there he is.
Such a strong defender.
Doing his thing. You guys had an interesting trip to Williamsport.
Oh, yeah.
Tell us about your journey here.
We were actually waiting in the hotel thinking we were going to go off an hour away from Indianapolis to play. Then the next thing you know, we're told we're going on a bus to Williamsport, and we really didn't know what to think.
So the whole thing was a surprise.
Yeah.
We're going to the Little League World Series.
We had to get ready in like 30 minutes to just get on the bus.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Now, do kids at your age enjoy a 10-hour bus ride?
We were with a wonderful Michigan team and our team.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun going up on there.
What was that like? You're riding a bus with a team that you're getting ready to go play for a spot in the Little League World Series. That's interesting.
It was they're great people, and it was really cool. And no good buddies on the bus ride, but when it came to the game, it was a lot of. We knew we were on a mission.
Well, Devin, John, thanks so much for stopping by. We appreciate it. Best of luck to you guys tomorrow night when you play New York.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you. You guys were great.
Thank you.
And as we go to break, here you go. Tim was taller than the two from Oregon, but not so much the boys from Kentucky and New York. We had fun, guys. Thanks. Deep breath. As you would sit in the stands and watch a game.
Jay, he's smarter than you.
That's not hard. Well, we've had a blast here in the Consolation game. Your Honda Games summary. It's been all Japan so far, 4-1 as we turn to the fifth inning. Tim, you and I have the same approach here. We love being here. The kids make it so special, but I don't know that I've had anything throughout my 4 or 5 years here that was more fun than that.
Those last two kids, well, they were all great. The last two were sensational. It's so neat. And hopefully they'll remember this, and someday maybe they'll get into this business, and this will have been their start.
Well, I'll tell you, both John and Devin there from Kentucky, they had the voice for it.
And I really meant it. John is smarter than you.
Look, the kid was giving us stock tips in the commercial break. For real. For real stock tips. Turned $75 into $500. That'll work. He's on the varsity tennis team back home.
Right.
Pretty amazing stuff.
And I was really taken by what Devin said about his father. His father's an former NFL player who said football can wait. You'll be able to play that if you pick it up at 15 instead of having to pick it up at 7 or 8 in order to get pretty good at it, like is required in baseball, given the tremendous skill it takes to play the sport.
Yeah, you know, working with all the NFL guys as I do on SportsCenter, I've had a lot of conversations with those that are parents, and I hear that same thought echoed more often than not. I've had conversations with Teddy Bruschi on that very subject, and he's like, look, you're not going to learn anything at 8 and 10 that you can't learn once you pick up the game later in life. And that seems to be a sport where there's not a predetermined number of hits, but it's so much more physical and violent now than it was. And if you can save your body some wear and tear, why not?
Right, and again, I have tremendous respect and admiration for football players, but Ben Zobrist, great baseball player, didn't play football until his senior year in high school, and there were guys that would say he was the best player on the football team and never even played until his senior year because his athleticism from the other sports translated so perfectly to football.
Wow. take a look at the games that are coming your way later today on ESPN and ESPN2, presented by Kellogg's Frosted Flakes. And this is the consolation game, Japan and Texas, a couple of traditional powers that both lost their first two. So they'll get one more before they go home. And then, Tim, it gets real with Canada and Mexico. Each team fighting to stay alive in this tournament, trying to work their way back to get a shot into the international championship game. And then for the U.S., Rhode Island and Iowa happens at 3. Australia, Curacao happens at 5. And then the nightcap, Tennessee and California. All of these, no safety net now. They have to win or it's done.
Right, and I saw Mexico play the other day, and their shortstop hit a couple of home runs, pitched. He did really well. And, of course, Canada needs to get to a spot where they can throw the big kid again, because once he throws, everything changes.
Well, Siniskalchi has been perhaps one of the bright spots on the international side from a pitching standpoint. And, boy, the kids from South Korea all chuck it, but Siniskalchi just struck out the side in the first and did it on 10 pitches.
And what was the note we heard today about this South Korean team? 33 outs, 30 of them by strikeouts?
Dominating, yeah. All 15 outs recorded in their win yesterday were strikeouts. And 15 of the 18 in their opening round win against Curacao were also strikeouts. And there they are, South Korea. They're the biggest team here, Tim, no question. Average height around 5'7". Some kids 5'11", 6 feet.
You know, and Jay, we've established.
Well, that was strike 3 in the dirt, but there was no throw down to first base, so.
He's safe at first base on that. When first base is unoccupied with less than 2 outs, you got to run to first and you got to throw it there to try to get him out. So good for the batter runner realizing I'll be safe if he doesn't throw it.
Yeah, so Harao, and he alertly took off towards first, and the catcher Blake Compton seemed a bit confused on the play. Didn't know if he should throw down or not. He held the baseball, and now Japan has runners at first and second here. Nobody out in the top of the 5th.
Ball.
Rylan Quinones misses with the first pitch to Joe Adachi. Had a single in his first at-bat today. You see his numbers there, 3 for 6 in the tournament.
Ball.
Misses low with that one.
2 balls. Jay, I've been so impressed, of course, with the infield that the Japanese took before the game.
There's a grounder to Dominic Tellis. They're going to get the force at second, but can't turn the double play. So we'll have runners on the corners now. You talk about Japan's pregame infield, Tim. This is something that if you come to Williamsport and you don't see this, you didn't see everything you needed to, because it's a sight.
It's beautifully choreographed, and when they were done, they came off the field and they got an ovation, not just from the Japanese parents, but from people all over the ballpark, because they appreciated just how choreographed and how beautiful that infield was.
Oh, everything happens with such precision. You see the first baseman there, when he catches the ball on the return throw to first, he just throws it in the bucket.
I've always said the integrity of the infield that you take before a game often tells you an awful lot about how good that team is.
Well, you've heard it a million times. Practice how you play, and you talked about it earlier. And with baseball, I understand the major leaguers are so busy with their schedule, they don't often do the pitchers infield like we see handled at spring training. And it's just a given that by that point in your career, everyone knows where everyone has to go. But it still does, from time to time, help to drive those principles home and just to go through them again.
Well, I can tell you, Jay, in all my years covering the game, I love a major league team that takes infield before the game. It doesn't happen anymore.
Foul. Right here, pitcher.
It used to be a staple.
I mean, on the field 30 minutes before the game, both teams take infield. It was one of my favorite things, and we don't do that anymore. And I think it hurts our defense, no matter how athletic our players are. So to see even the little leaguers do it, I love to watch that.
That's fun. Sosuke Agawa digging in now for Japan. One out, top of the fifth. Japan leading Texas 4-1. This is the last game for both of these clubs. We talked about Texas and Japan being traditional powers here, but for just the second time for both teams that they lost their first two and are playing in a consolation game. That one's pulled foul.
You know, I was struck from what the Kentucky kid said about how much they appreciated playing on a field like this. Virtually every kid we spoke to today said the highlight of the trip is the field, the actual field. Getting to play on one this manicured in front of fans like this, great.
Yeah, they don't have fields like this back home. And some of these kids come from terrific Little League programs and have nice fields. But I know that many of the kids that come here from the international side, I know the Italians were saying before their games, they just don't see anything even close to this. So Takumi Ito now. Pinch hitting for Japan. They've got runners at second and third now. 2 outs after the strikeout. And Quinones is dealing. He's got some velocity on that fastball as he overpowered Ito on the first pitch.
And drops a little curveball in there. Now the hitter's seen them both and is thinking, oh boy, he's got an overpowering fastball and a curveball.
Yeah,
what do I do now?
What's coming? What will he throw? The fastball, and it is driven into the air and right, but there to make the catch is Jacob Kulba, and that is the last out of the top half of the fifth. Texas running out of outs. They've got 2 more tries. Bottom of the fifth is next.
Little League World Series is presented by Kellogg's Frosted Flakes cereal. They're great.
Jay Crawford with Tim Kirkshin, 4-1. Japan leading Texas. We're heading to the bottom of the fifth. There's so much to learn when you play the game of baseball. Let's take a look at these valuable lessons brought to you by True Value. Here's Kyle Peterson.
Hey, the kids from Tennessee, Kentucky, and Australia. We're going to tell you how to bunt. Davis is going to show you how it's done.
When bunting, you need a 45-degree bat angle and head level with the bat.
Attaboy. Best bunters in America right here. 45-degree bat angle, head right on it. Watch the feet, too. The feet don't move. Stay athletic. Head right on it. Yes, sir. Way to go, boys. 45-degree angle, head on the baseball. Catch that ball. Try to move those runners up.
Such a big part of the game, Tim. It comes in handy.
Right, Kyle Peterson does great work on these things, and this is bunt for a hit. He disguised this a little bit and still got the right angle of the bat and still caught the ball with the bat, deadened it, and made an absolutely perfect bunt down the third baseline.
Can't do it any better. Ends up beating it out for a base hit. That's a tough spot. By the time the pitcher gets to it, those bases 60 feet, you cover them in a hurry. Jacob Kulba hitting for Texas just missed on his bunt attempt. And he lines that one right back to Ryota Endo, who snares it for the first out. We talk about the defense of these kids from Japan. Very solid. It always is. Aerial coverage brought to you by DirecTV. If you call yourself a sports fan, you got to get DirecTV. Beautiful pictures from high above. Just a gorgeous day here. We had rain on Sunday, washed everything out, but other than that, Tim, it's been postcard weather.
And will be again tomorrow.
Orion Medina now the pinch hitter for Texas. Trying to get something going down to their last 5 outs here. But Ryota Endo's done a terrific job on the hill. 69 pitches through 4 1/3. Trying to see if he can squeeze 5 more outs before he hits 85 pitches.
Ball. And very efficient, Jay, with his stuff. And again, at this age, if you have decent stuff and you can constantly throw strikes, you're going to be okay. And that's what he's done today. Stuff is a little firmer than decent, though.
That one's fouled back. 1-2. Texas just rolled through the Southwest Regional. They were 4-1, outscored their opponents 47-13. It's been a much different story for them here.
Ball.
Haven't been able to find their groove.
2-2.
And there's 2 outs now. Oh boy, look at how much fun this is. Lucia Marinos, the daughter of one of ours, Gus. Look at that. I think she went faster than you, Tim.
That was way faster than 4.9. Michael, why did you get on that one? Feet per second.
He's doing the math. He's got his calculator out. Kids are fearless, no question.
They are. Way more than adults.
He's punching numbers into the calculator, and I think he's already well past 4.9 miles per hour. Well, a high heat can't be handled there. Swung on and missed by Dominic Tellis.
1-2.
Jay, I'm sure these kids learn a great lesson playing in front of this many people, too. You know, I'm sure in their hometowns, there's such good teams. They play in front of a lot of people, but I'm sure not in a situation like this. It's only going to make them grow in every way from having this experience.
What's amazing is, too, we've talked to so many of them. None of them seem fazed at all by the television cameras or the crowds. They enjoy it, but they don't seem intimidated by it.
Right, and that's very encouraging.
Ball.
Tim, I've got Lucia at 8 miles per hour. Is that what we're going with? 8 miles per hour.
So she's basically twice as fast as I am.
That's what we're saying.
And she's 5 years old.
Ball. Inside.
Endo misses inside there, so a base on balls for Texas. Keeps the 5th alive. Trailing 4-1. The Little League Grow the Game grant program was created to provide local Little Leagues the resources they need for general improvement, to expand or establish Little League Softball, Little League Challenger Division, and Little League Urban Initiative programs. For more information, visit littleLeague.org/grow the game. Very important, and I know it's something that Little League takes very seriously. They've got a lot of initiatives to grow the game, both in inner cities and in suburban areas. Very important. The numbers of Little League baseball players needs to grow.
And that's one of the real challenges in this country, and it's something Major League Baseball is trying very hard to do, to get more kids involved at a younger age. It's a very difficult game to play when you're 6, 7, 8 years old, but if we can get kids to this age where they can really start to handle the skills required, then it becomes a much, much more fun game to play when you've done the reps.
Ball.
Britton Moore hitting now. And the count to him runs to 2-1. Texas would love to get something going here with 2 outs in the 5th. They're down to their last 4 outs. If nothing else, it appears that Endo is running out of pitches.
Ball. Inside.
And that's his 84th, so this will be his last hitter.
3-1.
Well, he has done a terrific job.
Allowed just 4 hits, the 1 run, and that one sort of checked down the first base line and handled by Rin Ikamoto for the final out of the 5th. So Ryota Endo's work is done. He goes 5 terrific innings. Japan leading 4-1.
I can't say that, but
I know. I hope so.
Devin
too.
essentially told us that.
Yeah, he did.
You don't need this.
Tonight, after the Yankees-Mariners, don't miss SportsCenter at night. Stan and Neil, they'll have all the baseball highlights from the big leagues as well as here the Little League World Series, South Williamsport. Also news from NFL camps. It's getting to be that time, and everything else from the sports world. Sports Center at night on ESPN, also streaming live on the ESPN app, and watch ESPN. And we talk about the Yankees-Mariners game, Tim. How fun is that going to be to have Ken Griffey Jr. in the booth talking about big league baseball? There's an enigma. He's shrouded in mystery to most because you just don't see him out and about a whole lot. And to hear him talk about the state of the game tonight, I can't wait for it.
Well, I can't wait for the byplay between him and Rick Sutcliffe tonight. It'll be perfect.
And Caden Wallace camping under the first out for Japan here in the top half of the 6th inning. Boy, look at the numbers, Tim.
Griffey once told me he never struck out in high school,
which is one of the most amazing things you'll hear.
Think about that. I mean, these kids here are getting close to high school. He never struck out in high school.
Wow. I was impressed that Crucky didn't make it out till his 10th game of his last year in Little League. But I think that's more impressive. Griffey not striking out in high school.
32 for 32. It's pretty good.
Very good. Akira Shizawa. And how about that sign? I don't know if they do want Kruk on the hill. I know they don't mean the mound. They mean the big hill. And there's a base hit for Japan. Akira Shizawa with the single to center.
Crucky's had shoulder surgery and knee surgery, so I think we should protect him from the hill. But if he went down that thing, the hill would never be the same. There'd be a giant groove all the way down the middle.
And clear the way at the bottom, because he's coming in hot.
Cannonball coming.
I will admit it would be fun to watch, but we want him healthy. 3 for 3, a double and 2 RBI for Yujiro Moriya. And that's going to be a force at second, not quite in time as Moriya gets down the line in a hurry. So the Texas team can't turn the double play, but they do get the force rather at second.
But I've watched Gibson Maldonado twice, the second baseman here, and he really has great footwork around the bag. There just wasn't enough time, but look at his feet. That is beautiful. And he uses the bag to protect him from the slider.
Nice transfer. It's all about the footwork back there.
Right.
Oh, that is swung on and driven to left field and over the head of Esteban Gilroy. And they're going to send the runner home, and he's going to make it for the 5th run of the game for Japan. That one was well hit.
That ball was hit really hard. And that's where the runner on first did a really nice job. He realized that the relay throw was not a crisp one. It was not an effective one, and he just kept running.
So Ryota Endo, who did a terrific job on the hill for Japan, 5 innings, allowed just the 1 run, knocks in the 5th run of the game for Japan. So he helped himself. And there's another base hit, smashed into center, or into left field rather. So Suzuki with the RBI. Endo comes in to score at 6-1. Tatsuya Suzuki. The hard hit ball to left field and then going to second on the throw. Now that one's going to get away, and Endo will scoot down to third. Japan, that was just the 7th pitch of the inning, and Japan's doing some damage. Rylan Quinones is throwing strikes, and they're jumping on him.
We talked about this yesterday, Jay. You love to see a kid this age that likes to swing the bat. I worry about some of our kids.
Well, the grounder to the right side will retire the inning. We'll save that thought for the bottom of the 5th, or 6th rather, which is next. They're down to their last 3 outs, the kids from Texas.
Okay.
Here's a look at the fans here in Williamsport enjoying the Subway family photo booth. See folks going there to get a memory made. Go home with a nice picture. So much to do aside from watching baseball here. Chris McKendry and I always used to say it's sort of State Fair meets Little League Baseball. It's a great atmosphere all the way around the complex, Tim.
Chris went down the hill, right?
She did the hill. She did the hill well.
Well, that's great. And as the kids talked about, they've interacted with the other kids. They've gotten to do all sorts of things with them, not just baseball. I think that's important too.
It is. A little exchange of culture going on. Tatsuya Suzuki now on to finish it off for Japan. 3 outs away now. So Japan looking to go home with a win. Not the title they came here in search of, but would love to get a win before they go home. And the first pitch at the bottom of the 6th is in for strike 1. And that one misses low. So Texas will have the heart of their lineup here to try to keep it alive. Brody Tyser trying to get something going. Had a single earlier, 1 for 2 on the day. And that is hit hard to left field, but charging on is Sosuke Agawa to make the sliding catch. We've seen that so often here at the Little League World Series. They're not afraid to lay out. Well done.
That was beautifully done, because he's not going to catch that ball any other way other than a slide and get his glove down to ground level. That was beautifully done.
We heard some of the kids that were in with us earlier, the boys from Kentucky, with high praise for the Japan kids' defense.
Infield defense has been terrific today, and every other time I see them play, same thing.
Clean game. No errors in this one. And that's really not that uncommon here.
Well, we did the Oregon team yesterday, and they went, 16, 18 innings in without making an error. That's hard to believe.
And that one sprayed into right field for a base hit. So a 1-out hit here in the bottom of the 6th as Texas stays alive. Blake Compton. Whatever works is right. Go where it's pitched, the other way, and
Blake, you're on base.
Yes, he is. Liner in the book. So who knows? Last night we saw an 11-run 7th. Once you get that dominant starting pitcher off the mound, you just never know.
This is baseball, Jay, and that's the beauty of it. Momentum happens very quickly here, and sometimes it's hard to slow. So let's see if Texas has one more inning left in it.
That is in for a strike, so the count now even to Matthew Flores King.
Favorite athlete, Bo Jackson.
Not a bad choice.
Yeah.
Whatever you need for luck, right, Tim?
Yeah.
That's not supposed to happen. When your lucky rabbit's foot breaks, what does that mean?
Whatever works.
That's hit hard on the ground to Joe Adachi, and not quite in time for the turn of the double play. But again, we talked about the footwork there by the middle infielders, and I know we're going to get another look at that. I think they need a new good luck charm. But Tim, that from the time the ball is picked up, scooped to second, and out of the second baseman's hands, that determines whether or not it's going to happen. And this is as well done as you can do it. That's tough to turn a double play here on a 60-foot basis, but wow.
It's fixed.
Oh, so we could have a rally.
But to repeat, Jay, the middle infield play in the Little League World Series is my favorite part. It is the most skillful part of this World Series, is the way the second baseman and the shortstop handle the bag. It's really, really good.
It's fun to watch the athleticism. Great major league teams are always strong up the middle, and that certainly goes to Little League Baseball as well. You got to have strong play in the middle of the field, and that is lifted high in the air. The third baseman, Yajiro Maraya, calling off the shortstop, and that's going to do it. So Texas will go home with a lot of memories. Japan will go home with a final game win. 6-1 our final score. Tim, I had a blast. It was fun with the kids.
The kids were great. They were way better than we were.
Little League World Series continues. We have an elimination